Is my voice audible?
Okay. Yeah, I'm listening your voice.
Okay. जी पाजी आप स्टार्ट कीजिए और उसमें ये होगा कि
Yeah.
पहले आप लेकर जाओगे थोड़ा बहुत इंट्रोडक्शन आपको लेना पड़ेगा आपको द बिगिनिंग इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग यू आर अ होस्ट ऑलरेडी यू नो व्हाई एम आई टेलिंग यू
Yeah.
आपको थोड़ा सा बिगिनिंग के अंदर थोड़ा सा एक हाइप क्रिएट करनी पड़ती है दैट्स व्हाट यू हैव टू डू एंड आफ्टर दैट ऑफ
Yeah.
कोर्स यू विल कॉल मी एंड आई विल कम बैक टू दैट थिंग तो जब आप
Yeah.
इंट्रोडक्शन कर रहे होगे तो वो सिर्फ इट वुड बी ऑन द स्पीकर व्यू और उसके बाद आई विल पुट इट ऑन द गैलरी व्यू जब आप मुझे बुलाओगे तो
Yeah.
so
बिल्कुल.
from now to onward you are all alone yes
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amar Yasir, and today I have a quick discussion with a great personality here, the motivational speaker, the business consultant, and the CEO SAIF Trainings, Mr. Farhan Jamil. Hi, Farhan. How's it doing?
yeah everything is going good alhamdulillah how about you
I'm great. So today our topic of discussion is study, and I have few questions that I want to ask you. Would you please?
I would love to, of course.
Okay. So first of all, what does it basically means by a study?
I mean, what is the exact meaning of the study? I believe so. We all have misperceived it. We have
Uh,
misperceived the real vision of getting education. Because we take it like whenever we are getting education, so it just simply mean we are learning, so because we have to get a job.
yeah.
We are learning so that we should get more income. I mean, learning, there
Yeah.
are people who say if you learn more, you earn more. It's totally fine. But the only purpose of learning something or studying something is not to take it toward the money side, you know. It's all about getting exposure. It's about getting a vision about getting the logic of the thing. It's about developing your own brainstorming skills, your thinking skills, your creativity abilities. You know that you can create new things. So that is the all how I perceive it. That is the real purpose of learning. That is the real purpose of studying something that we have to explore
Mhm.
and we have to give vision to our mindset. It's all about developing a mindset, a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So this is the real purpose of study.
Okay. So there's a factor of focus. So how can we focus on a study?
Well, to focus more on studies, I believe so. The first thing is that what you are studying that should be
Yeah.
worth focusing on. I mean, what are you studying? Are you studying
Yeah.
something in which you do not have any interest and you are trying to put
Mhm.
double of your effort to create your interest into that? Is that so? So, I mean, if you
Mhm.
do not have your interest, but first you need to figure it out. Then if you do not have your interest, of course, you don't need to put double the effort into that thing because eventually you are going to leave that field. You are not going to put the
Yeah.
maximum of your effort into that. So what you have to do, first figure out your interest, the area of interest, the field in which you are really fond of, you really want
Yeah.
to study in. You don't need to do the artificial, you don't need to apply the artificial patterns to adopt the focus thing or to get the determination. You don't need to do that. So first of
Yeah.
all, I believe so every single student should figure it out and what exactly do they need to study, where exactly do they have their interest. I'm not talking about till you can consider the middle class or for the primary, of course, over there. It's all about learning whatsoever we have to learn because that's the basic. We cannot compromise on that. But when it comes over there, when it comes, I mean, after the middle, over there
Yeah.
should be choice. So what exactly do you want to learn? So the key answer of the way you were asking, how can we develop the focus? So I believe
Yeah.
the first thing is the interest. You should have interest in
In-
that field. And if
Yeah.
you do not have interest, you have to do it. So of course, there could be some strategies, there could be some tips that you can adopt so that you can focus more on your studies just because you have to do it. There's no other way. Number one would be you should define the purpose. What is the purpose of learning that? You should think about the outcome of that thing. I mean, why are you learning it? So that, or if there is no vision, there is no outcome defined to yourself, you need to define it first, to yourself first. Second thing could be you have to figure out about all the distractions, all the distractions. This is the key point. I believe so. I mean, it's just like if you have to solve any problem, the first thing is to define the problem And I believe why students are unable to pay attention to the studies, the number one thing is that they are just not realizing that what are the real distractions they are having nowadays. I mean, social media is a real
yeah,
distraction. Your cell phone itself is a real distraction. Your games are the real distraction. We need to figure it out. And second thing would be, once we figure it out, second thing would be we need to decide that how can we really avoid using these things. And this is possible by developing
yeah,
discipline. Discipline is something that
yeah,
lacks in every student nowadays. So we need to develop discipline. We need to be more focused. We need to be more consistent. I mean, there should be, I was once talking about a time block method. That time block method says that you don't need to do any
yeah,
work for an infinite time. You should decide some specific time block. For example, every single morning, I'm going to study for 1 hour only. So just give the time block to your studies. You will see that you will be more focused by doing that. But again, to to work
yeah.
on the time block method, you need to develop the discipline in yourself. So you should be disciplined and you should be more focused. You should be committed to your studies and you should be following the time block method. That is going to help you a lot. Instead of studying without calculating your time, it's better to study a subject with a calculated time by applying the study block method, the time block method over there.
Okay, all right. So we have seen the students are, specifically the childrens are less likely interested in studies. They need some motivation. So how can we motivate them?
Oh, you cannot only complain the students, you cannot only complain the children that they are not studying. You have to see what environment you are providing them. I mean, what you are doing. They are just the followers. They just imitate your actions. They just follow your words. So we need to see if your kid, if the child is not studying, is not
Yeah,
paying much of the attention towards studies, you have to see, you have to evaluate what is the environment that you are providing him. I mean, what do you do? What the parents are doing? Are they using cell phone all the time? Are they watching television? Are they watching movies? Are they like going out for hangouts every single evening or might be twice or thrice a
yeah,
week? If you're doing this thing, of course, the study thing is a bit boring that you have to sit alone and you have to pay much of the attention and the artificial attention as well. So you need to see that what environment you are providing him. You need to develop that environment. Allah says that human beings have the quality to learn from the environment. What animals do
yeah,
not have. For instance, an
yeah, yeah,
animal, any animal, they never learn from the environment, but human beings learn from the environment. Wherever you're
yeah,
living, you'll start speaking that language. You will start making your daily routine according to that. So I believe so. If students are not paying much of their attention, if they are not committed to their studies, you have to develop that environment over there. They should be. I mean, you should start reading out something. If a kid, if a
yeah,
children is, if a child is seeing a book in your hand all the time, he would be more interested in reading a book. If you're using cell phone more than anything else, of course, he would be more interested in using cell phone because he is also curious that what exactly you are doing in the cell phone, and he also wants to do that. Getting my
yeah.
point? So it's my answer would be to developing a learned environment in the home. That could be the solution for that. And he or she, the kid, would start taking interest into the studies. And
Okay,
we
so
need
you asked.
to encourage them. We also need to encourage
Yeah,
them whenever they are studying. We should not compare them with other students, but we should be encouraging them all the time. Whenever they do anything good, whenever they perform good, we should encourage them. And even we should also encourage them when they are not performing good, even
yeah,
when they are failing. It's not only if they are getting position, we have to encourage them. Even if they fail, that is the real time when they need the encouragement from the parents. They need the support. So
yeah.
when they need support, over there we just start insulting them, we start discouraging them. So that is something I believe we shouldn't be doing, and uh, we should be I mean, like I know some people who are following the
Yeah.
schooling method. They decided that our child will not go to school for 2 years or 3 years approximately, and what he or she will do, he would learn all the skills that he or she should have or he has, or like they might have interest into those. For example, if they have interest in learning piano, in swimming, in a language class, in a poetry class, and might be art and crafts things. So whatever
Yeah.
they have interest in, they can learn those things. And I know those parents, they claim it, that after spending 2 to 3 years of their own interest or in the activity, whatever they wanted to do, after that, they were claiming, they pushed back again toward the studies, and they were claiming that we have to go back to schools. So they were more into the studies. So it's just that encourage them. Let them do whatever they
Okay.
want to, and plus we should tell them the benefits of education. I mean, the way we are telling them the benefit is just like if you do not study, you will be a loser in your life. No, it's not like
Yeah.
if you are not performing good in your school, it does not mean you are going to lose your life as well. If you're losing your
Yeah.
marks in your school, it does not mean you are going to lose your life, your career, your relationship, everything. We make him believe. We try that he should believe on that.
Yeah.
If he or she is not performing good in their exams and the marks are not good, let's suppose, so they are going to fail in everything. It's not like that. We have seen it already that people who were not performing good in their studies, even they are successful. And there is one more
Yeah.
thing. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the things that we learn, most of the examples that we have over here are also
Yeah.
incomplete. For instance, it's a very common saying that Bill Gates is a college dropout, Mark Zuckerberg is a college
Yeah.
dropout. So these successful people
Yeah.
are college dropouts. We just
Yeah.
admire that thing that they were college dropout. But do you have
Yeah.
any idea that how much interest they have in learning?
Yeah.
I mean, they learn every single day. They are not going to
They're
school,
always
but they
trying
are
to.
believing on self-learning. They're reading
Yeah.
books all the time. I mean, once there was a person who asked Bill Gates that what is a superpower that you want to have? And he said the capability of reading faster. You watch his
Yeah.
documentary, which is available on Netflix, and you will see that he spends even weeks on reading. So
Yeah.
they were not learning from a school, might be, but they learned it by believing on the self-learning. And Bill Gates is the
Yeah.
one who was taking short courses even from so many institutions. He's all the time learning. So it's not like getting a degree. We all are studying for a piece of paper over here. We know that. It's a very common
Yeah.
thing that we are studying for a piece of paper. So the piece of paper is not important if you are not getting anything.
Yeah.
A piece of paper could be important or might be like even if you don't have that, but you have the skill, but you know what exactly you have a grip on the career skill, you have a grip on your own like well performing skills. If you have that thing,
Yeah.
it's good. So the only answer would be develop an environment where they are getting
Mm.
importance of learning. And for that thing, I believe so we should also do one more thing, that we should start appreciating those people who are really
Yeah.
performing well in their studies. And by
Yeah.
saying so, I mean it. I mean, tell me one single role model that you have and who is an educationalist. Tell me one single
Yeah.
role model. There is no one. I mean,
Yeah.
who are the role models? Actors, singers,
Yeah.
they are the role models. Educationalists are not the role models anymore. So we have
Yeah.
to make them the role
Okay.
models first. We have to appreciate them, not only when
Yeah.
they get the position. I mean, only one student in the class. It should be about
Yeah.
appreciating the whole system, the whole group of the people who are educated. We should be appreciating them. I mean, you talk about the government, you know it already. I mean, how much they are educated.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the prime minister only.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I mean, the science minister. I'm talking about the railway minister. I'm talking about, the every person who is connected to the government thing as well. If we are
Yeah.
giving value to the educated people, only then,
Yeah.
only then, student will realize it that yes, I also have to put my effort towards studies instead of going for the
Yeah.
illegal ways or instead of going for those shortcut that everybody is applying nowadays.
Yeah. So all you said is right, but there's a problem of complexity with some students. There, how can we respond to the complex wordings and text of books?
Complex wording, uh,
Yeah,
I believe so. The number one thing.
specifically for the school students.
Okay, can you please repeat
Yeah,
your question?
I said there is
Just give me a minute. Just give
complexity.
me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, repeat the question, please.
I said there's a problem and there is a factor that is complexity with the school students. They are complex in reading text and the wordings. I mean, how to respond that thing.
You know, why is that so? There are two reasons. For
Yeah,
example, let me give you an example. I also teach spoken English, and over there, students usually
yeah,
come and they say that if we want to improve the English speaking skills, listening skills, let's suppose, we should start listening
yeah,
to the BBC. We
yeah,
should start reading the newspaper. It's a very common suggestion everybody has. I don't
yeah,
agree with that because that is the stage 10. That's not the stage 1. That's not the step 1. That is the
yeah,
last step. Just like if you are playing a
yeah,
game, that's the stage where you have to deal with the devil, with the monster.
yeah,
So that's the
yeah,
BBC. They are using extreme
yeah,
advanced English. They like even if you talk about the
yeah,
newspaper, they are that's the advanced level. That's the stage 10 of something. That's the first
yes,
reason that we want to start with the stage 10. We should be starting with the stage 1. And what is the stage 1?
yeah,
I mean, if we are
yeah,
like, just as I gave you the example, like if somebody wants to improve the communication skill, the first stage would be, might be, they can start watching cartoons, English cartoons, and then they can jump to might be conversations which are available on YouTube. Then they might jump toward the movies, and then BBC, and then like the newspaper. So there are
yeah,
some stages. That could be the first reason of finding difficulty,
yeah,
complexity of the words, of understanding the context. That's the first reason.
yeah.
But the other reason, I also take it two-way. It's always a two-way thing.
Okay.
It's not like only one person is responsible, other person is also responsible. For example, authors
Yeah,
of the books are also responsible for that. For instance, if let's suppose I get a chance that I have to write a book, an English book or any content book of 5th grade, let's suppose. I have to write down a book of 5th grade. What's going to happen? Just to show that I know so much, I am going to write the complex things without
yeah,
considering that at what level the kids are. I mean, are they able to understand the content I'm writing right now, the vocabulary I'm using right now? You just start reading the books which are like at 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, you will find it out that they are using extreme difficult
yeah,
words and extreme difficult terms, and the content, everything is very difficult. That student
yeah,
eventually lose their interest. So I believe so.
yeah,
The authors and the people who are the authorities or the teachers, instead of proving themselves that they are really good, they should understand the level of student. This is the first thing. For example, whenever we are speaking, just as we change the way we are speaking, we change the tone. For example, if I'm talking to my boss, my tone would be different.
yeah,
If I'm talking to my parents, my tone would be different. And if I'm talking to my
yeah,
colleague, my tone would be different. If I'm talking to my friend, my tone is different. And if I am
yeah,
talking, let's suppose, to a baby, my tone would be different, isn't that?
yeah,
I mean, I cannot talk to a 1-year-old baby the way I talk to my boss.
yeah, of course.
I mean, it's not. So it's just like
Yeah,
when you're writing a book, you should get it, you should know it, that you are, let's
have to
suppose, if you have
consider
done MPhil, if
the
you have
level.
done PhD, let's suppose, so you are writing a book for a 5th grade. It's not like you have to impress your colleagues, you have to impress your class fellows that what a great book you have written. It's not about
Yeah,
impressing your surrounding. It's about
yeah,
giving content, reaching to the level of that kid and
yeah,
providing him the content that he or she can understand. So both are
yeah,
responsible. Number one, students, what are their patterns, what are the methods? Have they started, like, are they
yeah,
jumping from steps? I mean, are they jumping from stage 1 to stage 10 directly? That could be the one reason, that they are finding it complex to understand the words. Second reason could be the authors, the selection of the book, or might be the selection of the words or the examples or the content that the author is selecting. That could also be the reason for that.
yeah.
So I believe so. These are the two.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I'll move on my last questions, that how technology can be better for study, as many students use it for recreational purposes or for entertainment purpose. So do you think technology has some crucial part that we can use for study?
Again, there comes the two factors. Number one, technology is such a great thing, I believe. And nowadays,
Yeah,
if you want to accelerate in your career, if you want to get more knowledge, and you do not know the technology, everything
hmm.
that you are doing, that is going to be in vain.
Yeah,
It's so easy nowadays that if you find anything difficult, you can go to Google, you can go to YouTube, you
yeah,
can watch the video, and you can learn that skill. I mean, I have
yeah,
learned so many skills watching YouTube videos. For instance, I learned website development using only, I never joined any course, I never paid my money
yeah,
anywhere, and I learned it through YouTube. So there are so many skills I also learned. So what I wanted
yeah,
to say, that you can learn a lot by using technology, number one. Number two,
yeah,
it's not about accessibility anymore. It's not like you are in Lahore, you are in Pakistan, so you have to stay within your region. You
yeah,
can learn all around the world. I mean, you can learn from any person, might be who is in Spain, who is in New Zealand, USA, America, Canada,
yeah,
Australia, anywhere, and he or she is making videos, let's suppose YouTube videos, or the website is available over there, you can learn through that. That is the benefit. But there
yeah,
is also another disadvantage of learning through the technology, that there are so many distractions available there. I mean, you decided you are watching a YouTube video and suddenly you get a text, and after that, something clicks you that, oh, yeah, I also have to post something on Instagram. You go there, and then you go to the search
yeah,
bar, and then there are so many videos. So, this thing requires your self commitment, your self discipline, your self war inside your
yeah,
brain. You need that. Number one. Number two, we, again, there are two ways. It's not like only student is
yeah,
responsible, institutions are also responsible. Let me tell you how. I mean, the biggest injustice that every school, every college, and every university has done during this pandemic by providing online classes, the way they did it, that was the worst method. I mean, right now, we two are here, so you can ask me
yeah,
any question if you're not understanding. And I can even
yeah,
observe it, that if you are not getting any point, I can explain it again. But what universities are
yeah,
doing, or what universities were doing, they were taking 200, 300, 400, 600 students in a Zoom class, or might be whatsoever network they were using. That was the
yeah,
biggest injustice they were doing. How can a student get interest into that? I mean, is it possible right now that
yeah,
you are interviewing me and you just simply turn off
yeah,
the camera and you just start
yeah.
eating a burger, might be? Is it possible?
Mm.
I mean, you are chilling
It,
out, you are watching television while I'm speaking. You can't do that. Right now, you can't do that because it's
yeah,
more interactive. It's more interactive. When you put
yeah,
600 students, let's suppose, or might be 60 students in one class,
yeah,
you are making money. You are making money. We accept that. That by providing one class, you are making money using technology. We got it. But the purpose of education is not only to make money. I mean, that's secondary thing. Of course, I'm not saying that
yeah,
nobody should make money. That's secondary. Of course, we need to make money, but we should do some sort of justice with the method that we have applied to provide education. So the quantity thing that we are doing, that we are taking
yeah,
nowadays, or universities had taken during 2020, that was the worst thing.
yeah,
Now, every student believed that online education is not something. You talk to any person and they would say, I don't want to do
yeah,
online learning thing. Online learning is the waste of time, waste of money, and everything. And why so? Because
yeah,
universities have done the biggest injustice in the history with this technology. So I believe both are responsible. It could have been used in a better way.
yeah, yeah,
Students, they only need to fight with themselves. They have to be committed toward their studies
yeah,
whenever they are learning something through a website or something might be. And institutions who are providing the Zoom classes, because I believe so, YouTube videos are not the alternatives of providing these interactive sessions. I believe so. When you are
yeah,
interacting with a teacher and when you are watching just a YouTube video, there is a difference, of course. And you can't deny the importance of a teacher, of a live teacher. I mean, nobody can. So, but they have wasted the purpose by asking one teacher to sit in a classroom, in a Zoom classroom, in an online classroom, and there are infinite number of students,
yeah,
and it's very common. I mean, I was in a conversation with my cousin even today, and she was saying that I just
yeah,
simply start my class in the morning and I get asleep again. Teacher, keep speaking. And when they call, and
yeah,
I was asking her a question that what if they are now calling your name for the attendance? And she says, if I answer, that works. If I don't answer, I just claim there was a network problem. I mean,
yeah,
what are you doing? What are you doing? So there are so many benefits, infinite benefits of learning
yeah,
through technology. But yeah, it
yeah,
again needs self commitment from both of the side, from the teacher side and also from the student side. So that is how I take it.
yeah. Okay, thank you so much. We have done, and thanks for your precious time.
No, I love to have this
We
session.
have covered five.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so five questions that I've completed. So, do you want to discuss on some other factors regarding study, of this
Mm,
our topic, which is study?
I mean, I don't know. Like when I was telling you something, I don't remember that exactly, but I really wanted to share one story with you. Amar, once I was in
Yeah.
in a class. It was a very renowned college where I
Okay.
was teaching earlier. Over there, I was the class in charge, might be that could be the reason. But there was a rule that with every teacher,
Yeah.
there would be two internees attached with a teacher, so that those internees will sit in the classroom and will observe how the teacher is teaching because they are also going to become a future teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the internees which were assigned to me were female, and it was a boys' campus where I was teaching.
Yeah.
So when I entered into the
Yeah.
classroom, I entered first, of course. So those two internees were following me, and like when I was on the stage, those two internees enter into the classroom. Out of those 70 students, only one student passed a comment on those female. It was a boys' campus, considering that in mind. And the rest of the students started laughing. It's a very common thing. I mean, if one person
Mm.
makes fun of someone, so in a classroom everybody starts laughing and all, which is kind of an encouragement to that student that you
Yeah.
passed a very worth sharing comment, or might be it was a hooting. So I mean, they take it that way. So I remember what I said to that kid that day. I asked him to stand up, and I told him that, do you know that you have changed the mindset of all the class today? Because
Yeah.
now these students, these rest of the 70 students, they would never ever send their wives, their sisters, their daughters in a male society, just because of one
Yeah.
student, just because of one student.
Yeah.
So I take it like the purpose of education, the purpose of studies is not only to teaching them the content, but also to teach them the morality, the citizenship, the
Yeah.
civilization,
The
which is
manners.
totally lacking in our education system, because education systems are more about the
Yeah.
business nowadays. It's not a business. It's something. It's the profession being adopted by
Yes.
holy prophet, peace be upon him. So we should relate
Yeah.
it to that, and we should
Yeah.
understand the importance of this thing. So I believe teaching content, teaching accounting, teaching Pakistan studies, teaching these skills, biology, chemistry, physics, it's not the only purpose of studying something, of learning, of joining an institution.
Yeah.
But the real learning is the sense of living in the society, sense of
Yeah.
living in your workplace. That is really important, which I believe is really missing in our education system. So it's not only about studying, it's not only about the book reading, cramming, or memorizing the content. It's not only about the content, in fact. It's way more than the content.
Yeah.
It's about learning the life skills. It's about learning how to give respect to someone and how to deal a person who is giving
Yeah.
us respect. Because we also do this thing that if somebody
Yeah.
is giving us some sort of respect, if he is treating us in a
Yeah.
marvelous way, what we do, we take that person for granted. For instance, if you have one friend
Yeah.
who gets angry on even
Yeah.
on anything, you would be more careful about your words, about your action, whatever you do with that person, because he is going to get
Yeah.
furious. And there is another friend who is more polite, who always
Yeah.
compromises on the situation. We take him for granted. We never understand his feeling. We never try to
Yeah.
understand his feelings. So I believe so that we should also understand the real importance of joining an institution is to become a complete package, not
Yeah.
only about the content, but also about the life skills, skills that we have to apply in the society and also in the workplace, of course, which is really, really missing. Education and studies nowadays are
Yeah.
meant to teach you the content only and not any sense, any skill. That is why students are
Yeah.
also losing interest into that. And that is
That's
why
a drawback.
educated people are not getting the value in the society what they should be getting. Yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So, um, nothing. I think we can leave. I actually,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
my phone has to be shut off.
All right, all right, all right. Well, thank you, brother, for conducting this interview.
Yeah.
Now just do the closing and we can close this.
No. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for your precious time that you have spent with this session.
Sure.
So inshallah, I hope this will clear the minds and the this will teach the real purpose of study, what we have to learn and what we have to serve for the society.
Yeah, inshallah it would. Okay. Thank you. Take
Yeah.
care. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Welcome.